and gentlemen, welcome to the Aspire Sports Show. I'm Tyler with my hosts here, Ryan, Giggs, Kyle, and we're going to be talking about Week 9, especially this Thursday night game. A lot of questions, especially about Aaron Jones here. So if you have questions, please feel free. Drop them in the chat. We'll answer any questions that you have. So, let's go ahead and get into it. So first thing is, how do we feel about Aaron Jones tonight? How do you guys feel?
I don't think they play him that much. I think honestly, if tonight was against a better opponent, they'd be putting him out there to just kind of use as like a decoy, not really use a ton. But I think they get out kind of early on the 49ers tonight because they're so depleted. And I don't think they use them, honestly, as much as I think some people are anticipating them to use them.
And actually, I'm going to just go into some questions in the chat real quick, and then we'll kind of come back to this. So Aaron Jones or Justin Jackson, as we were sitting here kind of pre-show, we're basically, well, Giggs, do you think Justin Jackson or would you go Aaron Jones? I think Justin
I go
Jackson.
Justin Jackson.
I feel like safer right now, just you don't know about the injury. Is it dumb to play both Hasty and McKinnon in the same DFS lineup? Well, if you're going single game slate, I mean, I don't think it's dumb because I think Hasty's going to be like, if they get down to the goal line, be their goal line back. He's going to see between the tackles. And then, like Ryan said, they're really depleted. So I think both of them are going to have decent opportunity here, especially McKinnon in the passing game. So I don't think it's dumb, no. And especially on these slates, like you want to have like $2,000 left over because if you want to try to, I guess it depends on what kind of tournaments I hope you're playing in tournaments because single game DFS plays are like weird. I don't really like them. I'll just do a tournament and you want some money left over because you want yours to be different and hopefully it hits. Next question, Aaron Jones or Justin Jefferson, standard scoring, been burned by JJ. Yes. I would go Justin Jefferson. What about you guys?
Same.
So like we kind of talked
about.
I feel like
I'll say a lot. Yeah, I feel like I'll say a lot on this. I'm not crazy about Aaron Jones tonight. Just usage wise, I think once they get up big, I just don't see them putting him in that much and risking an injury in a Thursday night game.
Hey, and that's perfect. That's a perfect analogy. Worried about Fournette type emergency only. That is a very good analogy. I do think I could envision that because I just think that if they're playing good, there's no reason to play him right now. Last one, should I still play Irvin or go with Hines? I think Irvin's a good play tonight because I think we kind of talked about, I don't think Aaron Jones plays that much. And I think Irvin's going to see majority of it because they're already down Dillon and Williams. So I think Irvin's a pretty good play. What about you guys?
Yeah, I agree. I agree for sure.
You think so, Giggs?
Yeah, I'd probably go Irvin.
With that being said, if you have any other questions, go ahead. Feel free to like them in the chat. Please like and subscribe. We really appreciate it. We're here for you. So let's go ahead and, kind of break up the game tonight a little bit. So really, San Francisco is really depleted right now. If you're a San Francisco fan, I feel bad for you reporting live from Levi Stadium, but you got Kittle, Aiyuk now. Is Kendrick Bourne playing because it came back as a negative? So
none of those guys are allowed to play. Yeah, none of them because it was a false positive, but they still have to take it like easy. So I think that was Trent Brown, Kendrick Bourne,
Aiyuk, right? Or was that a different one?
Yeah, no, and Deebo Samuel's still out too.
Is Richie James playing? I thought I saw he's out. I think
Richie James is playing.
Is he playing?
Okay. Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Well, we'll double check that for you.
Trent Taylor was obviously Trent Taylor's like their guy tonight. But right. I don't know. Has Alexander been shadowing Jair? Because he was questionable. He's playing, right?
Who, Jair?
Yeah.
I think so. Richie James is playing tonight, by the way. Alexander or Jair, jeez. I'm not sure. I have to look into that as well. Kyle, can you check that out? Let us know if he's playing tonight. Is Richie James playing tonight? Yes. So, yeah. So, but there's a lot of just check to see if
Jair Alexander.
Jair Alexander's playing or not. But you have, Aiyuk out. There's so many players out. That's why I think McKinnon. I've been telling some people to start him because I think this week he'll have a good week just because there's nobody. I think that they have to use him. You have to use him, especially in the passing game. I think he'll be a decent play. So any players that you guys are looking at this week? or tonight?
Tonight, yeah. I really like Tonyan as well. I was kind of going through the stats from the 49ers. They've been pretty bad against the tight ends as I went through it. That was just Gesicki's blow-up game. Richard Rodgers, when the Eagles played, Richard Rodgers had 35 yards, and that dude was picking up garbage a few weeks ago. What's up, Kyle?
So Alexander's playing. Yeah, so they got a lot that are out. But
And
go
on
ahead. Well, he didn't play last week either. But
the Packers also didn't have to list Lazard. People were thinking that he was possibly coming back, but they didn't have to list him on the inactives because he's still technically on the IR, so he won't be playing either. I feel like Tonyan tonight. The 49ers have been bad against covering tight ends. The more you go back and look, and Tonyan's been developing that chemistry with Rodgers for a few weeks now, and it's only at 37.5. It's actually 36.5 if you use DraftKings, 37.5 on FanDuel. But he's going to be part of the parlay for the people, so I have him at 37.5.
Oh, you already got the parlay for the people done?
Yeah.
Why don't we do it real quick just because you already have it done? Then
All
people that are listening maybe tune out later. It's all right.
It's all right. I'll do it quick, and then we can come back to it in a little bit. Going off what Tyler said, I have McKinnon over 26.5 receiving yards, Tonyan over 37.5 receiving yards, the under in the game of 48.5, and then DaVante Adams to score and touchdown anytime. That would be a $10 bet to pay 147. Jerick McKinnon over for receiving yards. It's 26.
What is it? 26.5?
Yeah. Robert Tonyan over 37.5 receiving yards. The under in the game, which I have at 48.5, and DaVante Adams to score a touchdown. All right. And then
hold on.
I would say my favorite bet is, like I said, Robert Tonyan. I think Tyler said his is probably Jerick McKinnon's over for receiving yards.
So real quick, we got a question in the chat. Need some advice. 1 point PPR. Do I roll the dice and play Jones, or do I bench him and pick two of these other guys? Carson, Gibson, Montgomery. I would go pick two of the other guys. I would go Gibson and Montgomery for sure over Jones. What about you guys? Do you think so?
Yeah, I'm definitely out on Jones. You said Carson. Who'd you say? Gibson.
Carson, Gibson, and Montgomery. Yeah. I'd say Gibson and Montgomery just because I also don't think Chris Carson plays this week.
Yeah.
He has a foot sprain.
Carson. Yeah, I like Carson if he's full and healthy, but if he's game time decision, then I would say what Ty said, Montgomery and Gibson. I wouldn't put Jones in. Save yourself the hassle of having him in there and then having to pick one of those other guys. I'd just keep him out and pick two of the other three.
And if he goes off tonight, you just live with it because really, has it been 2 weeks or just 1 week now that he's out? He's missed. Just one? I can't remember.
I think this might be his second.
This will be his second. So, he's basically practice limited. I don't even think he practiced last week at all. So it's a short week and I just think you live with the result. If he goes off, I don't think that many people are saying it. Even the football doc on Twitter said that he expects him to be limited. So me personally, and this is a pretty good run defense as is. So, if you don't start him tonight, I think it's the smart decision. And if he goes off, it's just unfortunate. I just want to risk it though. He could easily be like that Leonard Fournette, just emergency only and not really even play. So, Giggs, what about you? Any bets that you like for tonight or starts, or maybe you disagree with Ryan and I, whatever it may be?
No, I agree with you guys with Aaron Jones. You're only starting him if you have no other option at running back.
Yeah, actually, let me ask you this, Giggs. And one of the questions was Aaron Jones or Marvin Jones. Who would you play?
I'd play Marvin Jones because you know that Kenny Galladay is probably not going to play. So they're playing Minnesota. I think Marvin Jones will get a lot of looks.
Only thing that makes me nervous about that is I think he's going to be clear, but you stay tuned on the Stafford thing. He tested negative again, but he needs, I think, as a 5 negative tests.
Oh, okay.
I like Marvin Jones even if they don't have
Who's their backup for staff?
David Blau. Click clack Blau.
Didn't he get a couple games last year, right?
Yeah,
Or
he
did
beat
he play
Ohio State when he played for Purdue. He
Wait,
knows
he
how to
didn't
play,
play
in a big
last year?
game. Yeah, that's who we had to pick up like after Thanksgiving and rolled with him.
Okay, yeah, and roll with him. That's what I thought.
Yeah, he didn't win a game, but he was able to get the ball to Kenny Galladay. Galladay finished with the most touchdowns in the league. He only had Stafford for 8 games, so without Galladay, he's just gonna be like, "Hey, Marvin, catch this."
Yeah, and he should. What about is it Marvin Hall too? Is that what his name is, right?
Yeah, keep an eye on him. He might step up and be a nice piece for them. If Galladay misses more time, he's not getting traded now, so.
What about have you looked at any of the lines, any of the bets or anything?
No, I'm kind of staying away from this game. I mean, if you want to make money, I would bet money line Green Bay. I do not see San Francisco winning this game with how depleted their offense is. I think Jordan Reed could be a sneaky play this tonight, like maybe as like a anytime touchdown, maybe first touchdown, if you want to get kind of weird. But just looking at the team, it's so depleted on both sides of the ball, and this team for Green Bay is no more depleted than it was last week. And I think they're going to win this game, Green Bay. Even with Aaron Jones not 100%, they're just going to get the ball to DaVante Adams. He's just been a monster this year when he's healthy. So I expect him to have another big game, and Green Bay is going to win. I don't know by how much, but like I probably wouldn't do the spread, but I don't see Green Bay losing it.
I agree. I think they should win. Well, another sneaky play though I do like is Robert Dwell, or is that his first name? Dwelly?
Ross Dwelly.
Ross Dwelly. That's it. I knew it started with an R. But Ross Dwelly, I do think he's also a decent play as well because honestly, they're so depleted. They have nobody. No Kendrick Bourne, Aiyuk, Debo, all of them gone. Kittle. I mean, that's their first 4 receiving options gone. And then you have Mostert, Coleman gone. It's just crazy. I feel bad for, like I already said, any San Francisco fan out there. 4-4. Hey, that's pretty good for the amount of injuries they've already had this season. So
hey, I got another one. That fullback for San Fran. Yeah,
Juszczyk.
Maybe he gets a touchdown tonight. So maybe an anytime touchdown for that team too.
Yeah, if they get close, for sure. Yeah.
I mean, who else is getting the ball?
Only one Hasty. That's about it.
Do you think that there's chances tonight that you see Hasty and McKinnon on the field at the same time? Like McKinnon splits out to like almost like a slot receiver.
Oh yeah,
I could see
I'd say yes.
I think that's part of the reason I figured they'd be doing something like that. And I think that's part of the reason I like the receiving yards over for McKinnon, because I think in that case they would definitely Hasty stays in the backfield and McKinnon's running short routes and stuff like that, which you think will be what Mullens. I have not watched Nick Mullens at all, but he seemed to put up yards last week when he was in there. But I would keep an eye on that too, especially he's at 26.5. Like you could realistically get that on like one catch.
Yeah, agreed. And he's just their best receiving back, and he's shown that he's a good receiving back the past couple of weeks. It's just he hasn't really had the opportunity except last week. The week, prior when Mostert came back, I don't even know what his usage was, but it was so stupid. In this game, kind of like we said, they should be down, so there would definitely be opportunity for him, even if they're not down and it's a competitive game, which I think it's going to be a competitive game, honestly, because I just think that Shanahan's just a really good coach, and I think he'll be able to put his guys in a decent position, not to win the game. I think Packers will win, but I think McKinnon will definitely be involved. So any questions in the chat? I need help. What should I do with Tyler Ervin? If you have Tyler Ervin, I think he's a solid play. It depends on who you have, who you obviously would be starting him over, but if you need him, I think that he's a solid play. Agreed. You're right. Yeah, we'll agree. Agreed. And yes, if you have any questions, please ask in the chat. We'll answer any questions. I'm starting Reed. How about Reed? Reed or Mark Andrews? Oh, who would you go? Mark Andrews or Reed?
I would go Reed. All honesty, I think Indianapolis has a good defense. Kyle knows they're pretty much elite, and they have very good linebackers, Darius Leonard. So I think they've been pretty much. So they're very good against the tight end. I would probably go Reed just because there's no one else to really get the ball to. And Reed's a good player when healthy. He's just always concussed.
Right.
Um,
I do like Reed. I like Reed, like Giggs said, as he's like almost like a sneaky type play. I could see him, even if it's only like 3 or 4 catches, which I think he'll be a little bit more involved in that. I think if they get near the end zone, I think Reed's definitely a sneaky guy for an anytime touchdown score.
So would you start him over? You started him over. Obviously, you already said Mark Andrews. What about Gronk?
Who's Tampa playing?
Do they play Saints?
Yes, they play the Saints. Do
I
I think Kenyon?
They have Godwin and Brown back, right?
Godwin's still there.
I don't think he'll play. I don't think Godwin will.
If Godwin's not playing, they have Brown. Brown probably won't get full workload. Gronk has looked pretty good as of late.
He has looked pretty good, honestly, and he's scored in quite a few. Like, has he scored in the past couple of games too? I think.
Yeah,
touchdowns.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't have last game, but he's still. They were looking his way, and he had a touchdown. So I think I'll go with Gronk because he's been like a tight end one as of late.
Yeah.
We got a question in the chat here. Do you think Kenyon Drake will play week 9?
No.
No, I don't think so.
Very little.
I think
I like Edmonds though.
Yes, Edmonds. I think Kenyon Drake, I think it was ruled a high ankle sprain, wasn't it? Is that what he has? So I think it honestly, like, I mean, we saw Christian McCaffrey didn't come back. I'm surprised they didn't put him on IR. So I guess that's at least some hope there. But McCaffrey took like 8 weeks off. Do we think that he's the same athlete as McCaffrey? I don't know. But I think Drake will be out for a couple more weeks.
And I think with both those guys too, with both those guys' situations, they have like a very good backup as well. So like the Panthers didn't need a rushing back because they have Mike Davis, who's been absolutely killing it. The Cardinals, unless we've all been fooled, they're not going to need to rush Kenyon Drake back, nor do they probably want to, because I think all along Edmonds been the better back there. They've just been contractually paying both of them, so they figure they might as well get some use out of Drake. So honestly, I think it's a slow process getting him back for that reason, as well as the high ankle sprain.
Indeed. So with that being said, let's go ahead, and we have a couple questions here on Twitter. So roll with Jones as my RB2 or go Gibson, Taylor, or Wilkins?
Gibson, in my opinion.
And I like Gibson.
I agree. Gibson.
Definitely not. If he's talking about Jonathan Taylor, definitely not Jonathan Taylor.
Yeah, Jonathan Taylor. I got Trent Taylor in one of my 2 flex spots. I have Dobbins in the other. Do I start Russell Gage or Matt Breida instead? No, I think that's pretty good. Wouldn't you say those 2? Because Breida might not even play this week.
Something about Breida today. He might not even play, but
he didn't practice.
Yeah, I'd stick with what he has there.
All right, and one last question here, Giggs. Rodgers or Herbert?
Ooh, I really like Herbert's matchup this week, and I don't know, Dan. That's tough. I'd probably ride the hot hand with Herbert because I think he's got an easy matchup this week. It's fleeting me who they play. Is it Vegas?
Yeah, Vegas. Yeah.
Yeah.
The Raiders.
There wasn't a lot of points scored in that last game because of the weather. If it wasn't for the weather, that would have been one of the higher scoring games on the slate. And
I will say this: I saw a stat today that said whenever Aaron Rodgers has like one of those games he struggles in, it's against the type of defense that the Niners run, where they're mainly in zone defenses. And he said that he usually just a lot of his touchdown passes he eats up against man coverages, and tonight's zone. And I think that's why the under is so hot right now in the betting market, because for that reason, because not alone the 49ers aren't going to be able to score that much, But Rodgers, I don't expect him to have one of his 350-yard, 4-touchdown type games.
Oh,
Put $500 on it.
Tonyan, like Funyan.
Onion.
Deontay Johnson or Hasty? Ooh, that's a tough one. Wait, okay. Actually, we got a couple questions. They said that they can't hear Kyle. So we got Tom Brady or Justin
That's not a
Herbert?
question.
What?
Justin Herbert.
Nothing.
Tom Brady or Justin Herbert?
I'm going Herbert. Someone said today he's had 3 touchdown passes. It's like a rookie record for most consecutive games. Let's have him break it this week with 3 touchdowns again.
I like Herbert as well. I think both of them are really good plays, though. Whoever you want to go, Justin or Deontay Johnson or Hasty. That's tough. I think I'd go Johnson because he just has a dream matchup, and that should be a blowout game. But
Good
I
call,
think
K2.
both of them are decent. What do you guys think?
I'd probably go Hasty just because San Francisco is a very run-heavy team. They have no wide receivers. They're probably going to try to run the ball a lot. Hasty had, I think, a 10-point fantasy game or close to it last week. And Deontay Johnson, I think he's a hell of a receiver, but Claypool looks to be the second favorite wide receiver right now. So kind of like Hasty in this one.
Ryan, McKinnon or Hasty?
Hasty.
Aaron Jones or Moss for the week? I'd go Moss. I don't really like it, but we kind of talked about Aaron Jones. I just would play it safe. I'd play it safe. Yes, worried with Aaron Jones. That's how we feel here. If he goes off, he goes off. I mean, you gotta live with it because didn't play last week. Coming off limited practices was basically a game time decision. They worked it out. Does he play? Maybe, but I just don't feel good about it. Jones or Swift? I'll let Giggs answer that one.
I'll go DeAndre Swift. I know that last game he didn't get a lot of looks, but that was just a really ugly game against the Colts. They could not run the ball whatsoever. I think they'll be able to do a little bit more, actually a lot more against Minnesota. So I'd probably go Swift. I really don't see Jones getting more than 10 or 12 looks rushing and receiving tonight. So it kind of just comes down to what can Jones do with 8 to 10 touches. He can do a lot, but if he's already not 100%, I'd rather just go Swift, who should be healthy going against not that great of a defense.
We got another question, and if you aren't, please like and subscribe. We really appreciate it. So much appreciated. So next question, Aaron Jones or Will Fuller? Me personally, Will Fuller. Evans or Emmanuel Sanders, Giggs?
Mike Evans?
Yeah, Mike Evans.
Oh, yeah, I'm probably going to go Mike Evans.
Yeah, for sure. Mike Evans. Ryan, who would you go? Edwards-Helaire or Fournette?
Oh. I feel like coming off last week, you probably have to go Fournette because his seems to be trending up where Clyde Edwards-Helaire, that was just such a weird game last night.
It was.
Scored 5 touchdowns, but none of them were rushing.
Because Mahomes threw 5. Yeah, it's just crazy.
I don't know. That's a tough one. I think Clyde Edwards-Helaire is obviously the better running back, but as of last week, those are the only thing you have to go off of with Bell and him both playing, and neither of them had a great game. So
they've played together twice now.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I would say that last week, because I went back and actually watched that game because I'm a Lev Bell owner and I wanted to know like what's going on. Adam Gase really just wanted to shut down the run. Like they went into that game and they're like, we're gonna shut down the run. But okay, Patrick Mahomes is just gonna tear you up now. It's just a very interesting way, and they didn't abandon their game plan. Like they just were like, no, we're dedicated to this. You're gonna have to throw on us, which they did very easily. But I think he has a bounce back game. I do think that Bell eats into his touches, but I do think they want to be able to run the ball too. And with Chiefs defense, I expect them to be ahead in that game.
I agree. Oh, well, I
Just
don't
my
know.
take.
I think it's close. I'd go Fournette just because last week, Fournette outsnapped Ronald Jones 51-17.
Well, let me ask you guys
51 to
this.
17.
Let me ask you this. Is Bruce Arians going to punish Ronald Jones because of that fumble last week, or is he going to give him a second chance? Because Bruce has a short leash, and that's
I
why
don't think.
Fournette took that game overs. After Rojo's fumble, he kind of just was like, nope, you're out.
I just feel like he's a dick. I mean, I don't think he likes Ronald Jones. If he liked Ronald Jones, the dude's been playing well all year. And now you fucking throw in Fournette? No, I don't. I just think he doesn't like Ronald Jones. So I think he just plays Fournette, honestly. That's my take.
Well, if you think Fournette's going to get a lot of totes, then I'd run with Fournette if you're not scared of the committee.
And yes, and if you haven't, please like and subscribe. Really appreciate it. So let's go ahead and talk about anything else from tonight, bet wise or DFS wise,
Here, real
player
quick,
wise. Go ahead.
because there's just
Actually, wait, we had one question in the chat that we didn't answer. What do you think about Richie James tonight? Any take?
Maybe
think-
he'll do something.
Nobody left wide receiver wise or body wise in San Francisco. So maybe as a desperation play, I have no idea, but good luck. If you're to that point where you have to, I mean, that's pretty unfortunate, but I don't want to say anything other than that because it's not pretty.
So with all the Jones questions, here's the last tweet that I saw. Indications are Jones' calf has made significant progress, but is still not 100%. That could mean he'll only be used sparingly or in an emergency situation. So that's kind of what I've been basing everything off of with Jones. It's just like, if for some reason this game's close and they need someone to come in and spark the offense, I see like the Fournette situation. That's about the only kind of way that I see him doing anything productive. And if he falls in the end zone and you're mad at us for not telling you to start him, well, that's
Brian's fault.
What?
Well,
It's your
at the
fault.
same time, like let's think about it too. If he's going to be used in the Fournette situation, what exactly is an emergency? If all the running backs are hurt, then he comes on. Is that what an emergency means then?
I guess that's what I'm taking that as.
Because Fournette didn't even play one snap, and it's like, well, I guess no, Vaughn didn't get. I thought Vaughn got hurt at the end of the game. No, but he was fine. So, but at that point, like, what's the point of even dressing him? Why not call up somebody off of the practice squad and just throw him in there? If he's that hurt that he's only going to be used if everybody else gets hurt, I just think that's weird. But anyways, that's where we're at. Who else can I put in as a flex from Thursday night game? I mean, it depends. I think that there's some pretty good plays at the flex spot. I think Hasty McKinnon are definitely good plays. I think if you are in a bigger league and you need like Ross Dwelly or Reed, like absolutely desperate, I think that those are decent plays for a flex spot if you have to play somebody in tonight's game. Unless you're maybe talking about, I don't know if maybe you're also talking about like DFS wise. If you're talking about DFS, then I think Ross Dwelly or Jordan Reed, I think one of those guys are good. The two running backs. I think obviously you need to start DaVante Adams. 100% needs to be in your lineup. Two quarterbacks. I think that both of the quarterbacks you play them tonight. And then you kind of go from there, like see how much money you have left over, because those other guys are going to be pretty cheap and one of the tight ends. So that's I would definitely get one of those tight ends and kind of work from there. Sorry, I left a couple minutes. What did y'all say for Jones or Fuller? Fuller. I think Fuller. We're pretty much unanimous. Well, unanimous. We're not pretty much. We are unanimous on Jones. Ryan just read something that he's only going to be used for emergency situations. So basically, if Tyler Ervin, because I don't even know if they brought anybody who's playing tonight. Is it just Tyler Ervin and him? I don't know who the other running back is. If they even have another running back on the roster, I'd imagine.
It's Dexter Williams, but I don't know if he's hurt. I think one of those backup guys ended up not being healthy.
So if if they need him, he's there. Pretty sure they said Jones over Fuller. Yes, thank you. Yes, Jones just emergency situations only. So what about this? I got a question here, and I feel like we already know, but who would you play then? I guess it comes down to health. Jones tonight, sit him, I guess, but then flex spot. Do you play Juju or Chris Carson?
That's probably gonna have to be like a Saturday or Sunday morning question once we figure out more with Chris Carson. I think if they both go into the game healthy, I'd prefer Carson, as I generally do with, like, if they're both RB. Well, he's like in Chris Carson when healthy, he's an RB1. So obviously, I feel like you take him in most scenarios over wide receivers unless it's one of the studs.
You don't think that'd be like kind of the same situation where he'd be? I'm worried because he has that foot sprain, and we've already seen Joe Mixon had it. I feel like Calvin Ridley has it now. Who else has had it? There's been like so many players this year that's had these foot sprain injuries.
Yeah.
I can't remember. I know that there was another running back, but anyways, thanks. You're welcome. No problem. And if you didn't, please like and subscribe. We'd really appreciate it. Or, you know, I'm going to plug here because Kirsty said I have to plug this as well. If you don't follow us on Twitter, like seriously, we're really active on Twitter. Ask us any question. We're active. We'll answer your question. It's at Aspire Sports _, and we'll answer any question, whether it be like 3 o'clock in the morning. Chances are I'm probably up and I'll answer your question. Any time of the day you need us, we're here for you. We'll answer your question. So follow us on Twitter. We also post a bunch of our videos. When we post new videos, when we're going to go live, all that information will be on Twitter as well. So Twitter. I got Fournette as well, but I don't know if I should go play him since he has a split. I'm just going to go Tyler Ervin. I think Tyler Ervin sees majority of the snaps tonight, in my opinion. So I don't think that's a bad play. Although I do like Fournette because, like we kind of talked about, I do think Ronald Jones has been all season, has been in dang it, what the heck's his name now? I can't think of his name. Bruce Arians in his doghouse. So, me personally.
Poison.
Why don't we say it again? Because, well, it would have been a good time when there was 15 people watching, but go ahead, Ryan. Parlay for the people tonight.
Oh, yeah. It's Jerick McKinnon over 26.5 receiving yards. It was Robert Tonyan over 37.5 receiving yards. It was the under in the game. I had it at 48.5, which is still at 48.5. And then DaVante Adams to score a touchdown anytime. $10. It's, oh my goodness. It's the over for Jerick McKinnon receiving yards. It's the over for Robert Tonyan receiving yards. It's the under in the game. And then DaVante Adams anytime touchdown score.
You heard it, people. If you want to win money, that's what you need to do tonight. Kyle, are you typing it out in the chat?
Yeah.
Kyle's going to type it out in the chat. And I mean, Kyle, you really haven't talked that much. Is there anything that you want to talk about?
Steve's going to score a touchdown.
Kyle always waits until the first touchdown score and anytime touchdown score.
Yeah, it's usually
Aaron Jones.
I've been plugging Twitter.
Aaron Jones, I don't think he's a play tonight. They said he's going to be used in emergency situations, but not play him tonight. If you have any better option, I mean, if you are absolutely desperate, then you throw him in there. But anybody else, I would probably play over him tonight.
And if you have a question about who those other people that might be on your bench that you have to ask us to start over, we'll give our opinions. Like Tyler always likes to say, if we get it wrong, well, end up going with your gut anyway. We just give our slightly educated opinions on
slightly. I say educated, okay? Oh, now this one I'll say. All your fantasy experts, your Matthew Berry's, Jeff Radcliffe, whoever you listen to, whoever, what's that? Brad Evans, okay? Whoever you like. They are basing their opinions off of stats. They look at the stats. They try to make, I wouldn't say objective, subjective, or I wouldn't even say that they're probably opinionated, especially Matthew Berry. By the way he talks, you can tell he is. But they all say a guy, and then the next week they like the guy. So it's like as fantasy experts, you try your hardest, and at the end of the day, like we say, go with your gut, live with your decision. Because if we tell you somebody and the other person goes off, you're going to be pissed. So just go with your gut. Herbert or Rodgers? Who would you go, Gigs? All right, Ryan, Herbert or Rodgers? Who would you
Herbert.
bet?
We're riding the hot.
Sorry about that. Cruz decided to put on music right when you asked me that question.
Damn
but
it, Cruz.
Yeah, I'd go Herbert.
Antonio Gibson or Jones? I'll answer that real quick. Gibson. We don't like Jones tonight. Go Gibson. He's also a really good play as well. I like Gibson. Justin Jackson or Jones? Justin Jackson, 100%. Like we kind of talked about, we think it's already been kind of reported that Jones is going to be on a snap, not even a snap count, used in emergency situations. So I think Justin Jackson's also a really good play this week as well. Herbert or Rodgers? Yes, Herbert. Go Herbert. But I think, and this is definitely one of those. Go with your gut. Go with your gut. If you like Rodgers tonight, hey, he could go out there and freaking ball out. I was gonna say, are you allowed to swear on live streams? Is that cool? I don't know, like the rules. He's gonna go out there and fucking ball out tonight. You don't know. He might go out there and ball out. Hell, if just whoever you want to go with. If you think that Rodgers is going to do that, then go with him. It's as simple as that. I mean, me personally, I just think that Justin Herbert's extremely hot. We've already talked about it earlier. He's really hot right now. I wouldn't sit him, but if you think that Rodgers is a better play, go with him. Do you guys think Crowder will play? I just realized I have him on my bench. I thought he was officially ruled, or no, he didn't practice today. I think that's what it was. I don't think he plays again, honestly.
That's a bad sign. But hey, quick plug. We also do a Sunday show live show before the Sunday game start at 1:00. It's usually at 11:30 on Sunday. So if there's questions whether people will be playing on Sunday, it's a really good time because it gives us a little bit more updates for updated injury reports.
For sure. And the chat is popping on Sunday, honestly. And if you haven't already please subscribe. We'd really appreciate it. We make daily content. Honestly, we have buy and sells, waiver wire ads. And anytime a big injury happens, we kind of give you guys who to go and pick up, that kind of thing. So we release a bunch of content, multiple videos, honestly, daily sometimes, at least a video a day. So please like and subscribe. We really appreciate it. Any other questions you have in the chat, please feel free. We're getting close to game time here. So your last questions, anything that you want to ask, feel free. Also, quick plug as well. Follow us at Aspire Sports _ on Twitter, just because we're really active on Twitter. And if you ever say Friday night, you have a question, ask us, we'll respond. I went for Irvin, hope he gets at least 10 points. I think he has a good chance because also you have to think no Lazard also. Aaron Rodgers, I think, is targeting his running back at I can't remember what the exact stat was. You can fact check me if you saw it, but somebody released it. I feel like it was Pro Football Focus or Fantasy Pros today at the third highest rate in the NFL. So he's targeting his running backs at the third highest rate in the NFL. I think, especially in PPR leagues, Tyler Irvin will be a good play tonight. Any other questions? Anything from you guys? Oh, I will ask Giggs this question. Yo, Mike Evans or Mari Cooper this week? Mike Evans, definitely. Amari Cooper, I would not play him.
Yeah, I wouldn't play him.
Giggs, go ahead. What do you think?
Mike Evans all day.
All day, especially if Godwin's out. Yes, I love Mike Evans this week. Any other questions in the chat, please feel free to ask. We got a question over here on Twitter, and the question is, where'd it go? I just dropped. Oh, okay, here we go. You have to pick 3 of the 4. Never mind, because Aaron Jones is in there. Oh, well, do you go Aaron Jones or trust DJ Dallas?
Oh my gosh. Well, I feel like if Carson's gonna play, at that point you could know that you could probably drop DJ Dallas, right? If it comes to Sunday and Carson's coming back as being healthy, at that point do you feel comfortable dropping DJ Dallas and picking someone else up?
No, well, maybe. Honestly, no, because I think that when Chris Carson plays, they still use other running backs. So I think he'll still probably see close to 10 touches, and especially if Carson's limited, I think it could possibly even be more. Because I think he honestly played decently well last game too. He had a good fantasy day. It was like 20 some points. So I'd probably would just sit Aaron Jones because I don't trust him.
I would say this: if I knew Chris Carson was playing, I would probably play Aaron Jones. Just saying.
Well, there you heard it. If you agree, go and do it. Joe, or we'll answer that question here.
Then you have someone to
Thanks.
watch tonight. Yeah, if
You
he gets
answered
it.
Noah's question, right?
Yeah, well, I'm asking it right now.
Oh.
Gigs, do you think Aaron Jones gets full reps tonight?
No, he does not. I don't expect him to get more than 10 to 12 touches, and that's including receptions.
Well, thank you, MP. Times 1606. I'm sorry if that's wrong. I don't. Thank you. We really do appreciate the sub. Honestly, if you guys haven't, we'd really appreciate if you subscribed. Not just because we're thirsty boys, but honestly, we do think that we put out really good content, and we're gonna keep doing it, even for NBA season,
And we're
baseball,
thirsty boys.
hockey season. Like this is what we plan to do for the future. So make sure you hit that like button and subscribe. Any other questions tonight? We're kind of wrapping up here, so please feel free. I'm holding. Oh shoot, I gotta answer this. I wouldn't give up a third round. Would you give up a third round pick for Daniel Jones?
I'd give up a first rounder for him.
Like a third in a
I think it might be a keeper league though.
like a dynasty league.
I think it's weird. I don't know because we are allowed to keep 8 of 17 players.
No.
No. I don't know what's going to happen with Jones, but I don't like it. If I'm a Giants fan, they drafted him, 8 overall? Everyone called him stupid. And now they're saying that the Giants people are saying that they could be looking to draft a quarterback in this upcoming draft.
So should I
How
start?
many people in the league?
I didn't ask. I'll ask that. But real quick, we got a question. Gigs, Aaron Jones or Zach Moss?
My roommate actually has both those guys on his team. He's rolling with Zach Moss, so I'm going to go Zach Moss.
I'd say go Zach Moss as well. What about you, Ryan?
I agree.
Agreed. Unanimous. Well, actually, I'm sorry, Kyle. I keep forgetting Kyle actually has his mic or camera on today. So, Kyle, who would you go? Zach Moss or Aaron Jones?
He'll
probably
Zach
say
Moss. Well, if Steve's available, pick him up. I think he's only rostered on 4% of leagues,
which is pretty too low.
He's averaging 25 points a game. Just misunderstood.
Well, let's go ahead and start wrapping it up here. One more time for all the people in the chat, Ryan, so they can win some money tonight. Who likes to win money? Obviously, everybody, right? If you don't like to win money, then don't listen to this next thing I'm going to say. But if you do like to win money, go sign up. Thrive Fantasy if you're into betting. Thrive Fantasy. They're a growing player prop. They focus on player props. I guess betting company is what you would say, betting company. So they're a growing betting company that focuses in player props. That's given out nearly $1.5 million in prizes the past 2 years. If you go sign up today and use code ASPIRE, they will match your deposit up to $50. So who doesn't like free money, right? Go and sign up today. Play up or prop up, baby. Hey, so Ryan, player or parlay for the people.
All right. We're going Jerick McKinnon over 26.5 receiving yards. Robert Tonyan over 37.5 receiving yards. The under in the game of 48.5. And DaVante Adams to score anytime. And people, all we ask, if it hits, just give us a shout out on Twitter. Maybe post it. We don't even need any money back. I mean, you can Venmo us if you want. Wink, wink. But no, we just want a shout out on Twitter. At Aspire Sports _.
At Aspire Sports _ Agreed. If you follow us on Twitter, we'll answer you any time of the day. So, final thoughts here. We're wrapping it up because game time's getting close and Ryan's got to go eat his dinner and drink his juice box.
Yeah, who's been what for first touchdown scored?
Oh yes, we do need to do that. Go ahead, Giggs. Have you looked at it?
I have. I don't have the odds in front of me. I think your safe bet is DaVante Adams. And he's coming in at
super safe, yeah.
Plus 450.
I feel like that's a pretty good bet though. I'm gonna say, well, who would you go on the other side? Have you looked at that?
Yeah, on the other side, I would go Jordan Reed at plus 1400.
Okay. Kyle, have you looked at it, or you want to go somewhere else, or go with Ryan first?
Just go with Ryan first.
Go ahead, Ryan.
I like
On the right
Tonyan.
side.
Tonyan for the Packers. And then if we're going to the other side, I probably like Trent Taylor. A little bit of the option.
Real quick, we have two questions in the chat. Non PPR, I get James Robinson, David Montgomery, Darren Waller. I give McCaffrey and Mark Andrews. Good trade. Would you do that? So you get James Robinson, David Montgomery, Darren Waller, giving away McCaffrey and Mark Andrews. Ryan,
Oh boy.
quick,
So
hurry, yes or no?
I don't. You said James Robinson and who was the other running back?
James Robinson, David Montgomery, and Darren Waller. You give away McCaffrey and Mark Andrews.
That's like a depth question. Like I feel like if you're good at running back, you need a stud like McCaffrey would be huge. But if you have like no other running backs on your bench and you make that trade because you're getting 2 running backs so you can start.
Giggs, how about you? Would you do it?
What's the scenario? I apologize.
He's given away, or he's going to get James Robinson, David Montgomery, Darren Waller, but he's giving away McCaffrey and Mark Andrews.
Yes, do that.
So you would get James Robinson and Montgomery?
Yes.
I agree. I would do that as well.
How many people in this league?
It doesn't say non-PPR as well, but I would do that as well because you're getting really good depth, a really good tight end in the process. And also McCaffrey still hasn't had his bye. He's going to have his bye. Johnson is his other running back. So you're going to be stacked. You're going to be starting 3 running backs every single week. Yes, McCaffrey's a stud, 100%, but you're getting 2 really good players, 2 bell cows in their offenses. Yes. And then we have, is Jair Alexander going to be on Trent Taylor tonight? He's shadowed, but do you think he really shadows anybody tonight? I don't think so. I think he's just gonna, maybe he does, but I feel like my gut feeling is he's just gonna stay on one side because there's no true number 1 in this offense. So I don't think he shadows,
I agree.
but maybe he does.
I think
With that
they'll
being
just play
said-
him where he's most effective.
Agreed. And dang it, we missed the first touchdown scores. I'm sorry, guys. But you guys have been great tonight in the chat. Really, these questions are awesome. We really enjoy answering any questions that you have. So if you haven't already, please like and subscribe. Really subscribe. We release new videos daily. Sometimes we release multiple videos. And if you have any questions, follow us at Aspire Sports _. We'll answer any questions you have. Start, sit, trade questions. Whatever it is, we'll answer any questions. So with that being said, I think we should probably wrap it up because the game's probably starting here, right?
Yeah. One other thing, even after the game starts, sometimes it still allows you to pick like the first touchdown score or next touchdown score once they lock it. So watch till after kickoff once the drive starts. You may still be able to bet that.
And one other thing as well is that, and this isn't just for tonight, it's for any time in fantasy, Thursday night games. You can pick up players. So like on tonight, say it was the Steelers playing, right? You go and pick up Benny Snell. That way, in case James Conner got hurt tonight, you have Benny Snell. You don't have to play the waivers. You got to think of that. Got to be a little smart. Think ahead of your competition. Always do that every single Thursday night game. Be doing that. Get in the habit of doing that. That way you beat your competition. That's what we're all about here at Aspire Sports. Thinking ahead, beating the competition, baby. So with that being said, Giggs, anything else from you?
No.
It must be Cruz. He must be playing music again. Damn it, Cruz. Anything else from you, Kyle?
No, I just think that the Steelers are gonna win.
The Super Bowl? Yes. No, duh.
No, but I do think Green Bay it's not going to be a blowout like people are thinking. And yeah, I don't like Aaron Jones, and people are saying the same thing on Twitter. That's a consensus I've seen. So if you're still watching this and still doubting us about Aaron Jones, I would listen to the advice given here.
All right. Thank you guys for watching, and have a great day. And good luck tonight. Good luck this weekend. See ya.
Good luck, guys.